So I did one talk about a Maxonomic video, and like I said, I feel like there's something interesting with these because another one that came out was comparing the space race to the gold rush, and said the most profit is in selling the picks and shovels. I didn't think I could. I don't think I could. I don't think I could have picked a better example because the gold rush was a hoax, and the ones that sold the story and supplies got rich, and not many else. There was no true wealth to be had in the gold rush. The same is true for space. And so, what am I saying with that, right? The people that really made the money during the gold rush were not the people mining gold. Was there some gold to find here and there? Yes. But some of the people that found it ended up in more debt trying to get the gold. And so most of the wealth that they got ended up going towards paying off their debt so that they could go out there and mine the gold, right? And so for the vast majority of people, the gold rush was a hoax. And there wasn't really a lot of money to be made by doing this. However, the people that sold the story and set up shops with tools and things so that they could sell people mining equipment, right? These people come out, they don't have mining equipment. Oh, don't worry, we've got it right here, right? And they would sell it at a markup, obviously, right? Because supply and demand. And so the places that set up shop to sell to the miners, right? Realistically, the real wealth to be had was not from the miners mining gold. It was from the shops mining the miners for gold, right? Basically, all the money that was going into mining gold was coming into their pockets, right? So the people that sold the story, they're like, oh, there's gold here, right? They sold the story, told everyone, hey, there's gold to be had here, right? And instead of going and digging for the gold themselves and wasting the effort on that, they tricked other people into doing it for them, pretty much, by setting up shop and being pretty much the only shop in town selling supplies and food and things along those lines. And so by being the only store on the market, anyone and everyone that had any money was spending it there, right? And so when they did find gold, they spent it there, right? And so at the end of the day, the people that really made money and really benefited from this were the people that sold the story. And so I think it's funny how they're how they are comparing, the space race to the gold rush, because the people selling the story of space and the wealth of space are going to be the ones that make a lot of money, and no one else will, right? Because if everyone's investing millions or billions of dollars into getting into space and being the first into space, right, to get the best plots of land for, mining and resources and things, right? They get out there and they're going to realize there's not really much here, right? But if by then it's too late, they already spent their money, right? So they're selling you a story, and the truth is much different. And I just thought it was hilarious that they used the gold rush as an example, because I don't think that they intended it to mean this. They really meant it as like the gold rush, but the gold rush was a hoax. And I think that it is hilarious that it got compared to that. And so I really just wanted to kind of highlight that, because I've already talked on it. I did 2 videos on it already, but I don't think it can be overstated how ridiculous going to space is and sending everything into space and all these satellites. We're going to cover the world in satellites. We're going to do all that. So stupid. I'm telling you, this is going to backfire in your face so hard, and you're going to think that you are an idiot. Because if you actually think that this is the best course of action, the most profitable thing for us to be doing right now, then you are, right? So, yeah. That's my opinion. I'm fine with being wrong, but I really don't see. I really don't see it happening, right? Someone's gonna make money, but it won't be most people, right? And so, yeah, peace out.